Okay, let's see how to analyze the passage taken from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, the passage titled The Creation of the Monster. In this passage, we have a very clear description of the night in which Frankenstein, the doctor, gives life to a new human being. We see that the general atmosphere of this passage is really deadly and negative. For example, in the first line we immediately find dreary night of November. So 3 negative words. The first one is dreary, which is the synonym for depressing. Then we have night, which is generally associated with mystery, with negativity, with death, and also November, which is the symbolical month of death, and my toils. Okay, then there is the word anxiety and also agony. Okay, then the dark atmosphere is also emphasized by the candle. We see here my candle. The candle is generally, again, associated with, is a symbol of life, of our lifetime. And here we read that it is nearly burnt out. It means that it is quite at the end of life. And also negative, dull yellow eye. Dull is without any real life, okay, is motion life, lifeless. And yellow, which is the color of sickness. Of the creature, it doesn't talk about a man, but it talks about a creature as in order to underline that is a creature because he's alive, but he's not really human. Breathed hard, convulsive, and agitated. So all the words gives or underline, emphasizes negative atmosphere. Then from line 15, okay. From line 7, we see how can I describe my emotions in these catastrophe. Okay. Then there are words such as great God, yellow skin, or black, which is also a negative word, and horrid contrast with his watery eyes. So everything is really, really negative. Then from line 15, so in this first part of the passage, we have the description of a really ugly human, a really ugly being. Then from line 15, we read that he says that the result, this negative result, is the result of a very hard working. So even if he has spent a lot of time dedicating to his, we can say, experiment, the result is really negative, and there is a great disillusionment, frustration, the idea of frustration for the terrible, unexpected result. So this seems to justify his decision to abandon his creature. And then he also tries to sleep. So at line 21 to 323, we see that I slept. You see that he tries to sleep and he says, I slept, but it was in vain. I slept indeed, but I was disturbed by the wildest dreams. So he has got a nightmare, a terrible nightmare, symbolizing the result of his terrible experiment. So he imagines, he dreams about Elizabeth and then about his mother. So there is a mixture of his past terrible experience. And then we have also at line 30, so we take line 30, we see that when he awakes from his dreams, his terrible dreams, he finds the presence of the monster in front of him, the miserable monster whom I had created. He held up the curtain of the bed. So we see here that the monster is described as terribly ugly, but alive. This is the negative aspect. So even if he hoped he was dead, he was no more alive, he's still alive. And from this moment on, what is also negative is that it describes the monster that tries to say something to him, but is not able because he muttered some inarticulate sounds. Okay, so this is the symbol of the impossibility to communicate, the symbol of incommunication, of impossibility to establish a contact between the creator and his creature. And the final, in the last few lines, we find the final decision of Dr. Frankenstein to abandon his monster. So he says that a mummy, again endowed with animation, could not be so hideous as the wretch. So he makes a comparison between his creature and a mummy, so without any life. Okay. So just to finish, we can say that in this passage, the most evident themes are, first of all, the theme of appearance, because the monster appears ugly, terribly ugly, and this is why he is refused by his creator, and he will be considered in future as also evil, because he's ugly. So association, ugliness, and evilness. And the other theme is the responsibility of the scientist as a creator, because he's responsible because he made an experiment and he has to be responsible of what he did, but he doesn't feel responsible and he abandons his creature becoming, we can say, leaving him to his fate and leaving him to his self-destruction.